Hey everybody, don't immediately leave. This is your chance to ask a plant biologist a question. Okay, I'm going to be up here for maybe like 30 minutes. Last time got derailed. I said you could ask any question you wanted to. Okay, and y'all was like, we're going to ask a bunch of questions. I said I'm going to answer all the questions. I didn't answer all the questions. Okay, so this is your opportunity to ask me, a plant biologist, any question that has been on your mind. I'm going to try to answer as many as I can. While y'all are coming in, I have quit a job that has been really just causing me distress, mental heartache, and I'm going to take a bite of one of these lemon balms. And frankly, it's been like terrible for my health. And I am feeling so much better. Why am I mentioning you? I hope I'm right. If you want me to recommend your album, it has to at least feature Anita Baker, Wiley. Okay, number one, again, that's number two. I'm mentioning you all because how often do y'all have a chance to talk to a plant biologist? Let's be honest here. How many of you can say that you can come and reach out to a scientist and talk to that person, right? How many of you can say that? And I answer just about all of you. Even if you're being disrespectful, I answer those people too, because I'm a botanist with a mouth. That's right. I'm sarcastic. So we're going to start answering questions. So think about what you want to say and go from there. Again, we can talk about workspaces and me being a plant biologist and da-da-da-da-da. Root rot is kicking your butt. You're trying to water propagate. Sometimes with some water propagations, it's just not meant to be. So when you're experiencing like a lot of root rot, what happens is, I just picked this random plant because I was going to try it up here. What happens is this little end here may not have scabbed all the way, and there's nothing you can do. You can cut 10 of them. You can cut 10 cuttings. I can go in the house and make 10 cuttings right now, put them all in the same cup of water or in separate glasses. And sometimes one just wants to rot. Sometimes there's really nothing you can do. There's times where I will try to like cut the rot away, use peroxide in the water, change the water more often. Sometimes I can leave the water sitting. There was one set of rootings, I had the water sitting for like 7 months. I forgot about them. Water was barely there. It's looking all murky and nasty, like people that don't wash their legs. And it just grew. So you got me with that logic. I really do. Leave bad workplaces. Which plant is the freakiest? Y'all, I wanted to start a show called like Botany After Dark or something. Or like Bad Botany. Something like that. And I wanted to talk about like dirty plant history, sexual plant history. If y'all want to see that, like, whenever I get to 100K followers, I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers on the YouTube, I may do it there. Plant is the freakiest. There is a plant that is a species that I believe is called clitora, and it looks like a clitoris. There is a species of mushroom. It's not a plant, but it's a mushroom, and the whole genus is called Phallaceae because they are shaped like a phallus, and they're called stinkhorns, common name, and they look like penises of various sizes. No size queening there. How can I grow strong strawberry plants? It's been a year and no flowers. Check your soil. Oh God, somehow I messed the questions up. I can't. Yeah, there we go. Again, plant biologist, y'all can ask me any questions. I'm answering questions. Throw your questions up. I'm going to be talking bluntly about plants. And again, how often can you see a plant biologist talk about plants? Okay, don't just leave, because this is a scientist. Some of y'all want a scientist, and then you don't want to see me live, and that's real. Don't be that way. Don't be that person. So, strong strawberry plants. I've actually grown a few strawberries, but it was fertilizing. Like when I'm growing vegetables, produce, fruit, I'm fertilizing decently. I'm giving them a good soil mix that has a nice mix of a slow release and somebody's compost to feed the microbiome. And if I'm growing like in the ground, which I haven't done in a while, I would just do a soil test to see what's up. Because if you're watering, and you're not seeing any flowers, that means you're not even getting a flower. There's something off in that area. And maybe it's even the light or the amount but it would have to be, you would frankly need a master gardener or some plant person who really knows something to go into your area. Let me see. Do I apply natural plant hormones / auxins? I've never done that. Actually, I'm lying. I have done hormones and rooting hormones, but I haven't like sprayed any other things up there. Cut back a million times. Think I need to give it up. What are top 3 tips, go-to tips for indoor gardens? So this is a question. What are my top 3 go-to tips for indoor gardens? Number 1, get out the Facebook groups, because most of those Facebook groups are full of people who are just Googling to answer for you. Okay? They don't know a hill of nothing. And this is okay. It's okay not to know everything. But they get on the internet and they say, today I'm going to answer questions. And they get on their computers and they do one of these numbers. And they say, I'm just going to answer all the questions. And they're Googling the first thing that comes up and answering you all. Or they're just making stuff up or something they heard. Watch out for any of these plant hack videos where they're just telling you banana water and all these other foolishness is going to help you out. And with any gardener, especially the indoor gardeners, you're going to kill plants. It's okay. It's all right. I see some of y'all are jumping in and jumping out of this ship. Okay, I'm watching that number. I'm a whole plant biologist. You can ask questions and just vibe. Doesn't my voice sound sexy enough for you to keep me on in the background? Granted, this isn't YouTube. I mean, like the live isn't YouTube. This will be on YouTube after I'm done here. I also need to think about what I'm going to eat tonight. My waterfall orchids, beautiful in-store, shed flowers within weeks and never rebloomed. Follow instructions on the tag. There's that instruction says use ice. Don't follow those instructions. When you get plants from a store, especially if it's a garden center, they're going to be the most beautiful because those people are taking, hopefully, great care of them. And your space is going to be different. So you have to really do a deep dive into what do those plants want. Like orchids are going to want a humid environment. They don't want to be sitting in like their media to be soaked. They don't want ice. No orchid wants ice. Say it with me. No orchid wants ice. But you will be able to do those things and keep them in a well-lit environment. Like honey packs, but from the ground. Why do store plant mint plants always die? Now, it depends on what store you're getting those mint plants from. These are plants I got from the farmer's market. They're not from a store. But this one specifically came back, right? It's been out here all year long. This balm, lemon balm, came back. Now this is, you see me eating. I'm eating part of that because I need to figure out what I'm going to eat today. Sometimes these plants that you get at a store, if it's at a Walmart or a Food Line, one of them grocery stores, sometimes they're just not upkept that well. That's the unfortunate thing. Is there any country that has ecology or plant life that you really want to see? Have you ever traveled to see certain plants that don't grow in certain places? I want to see plants in Africa. I would love to see the plants in just various places in Africa. I want to see the orchids, not the orchids, the tulips they grow in the Netherlands. All those tulips in the fields and fields of tulips, I want to see that. And there's certain plants I have seen that are like in jungle, wildernesses and stuff, but my black Negroism doesn't want me to go there because I'm like, it would be my luck. I go to the Amazon wilderness, the rainforest. I get out there, having a good old time, and now I'm stuck out here with the jaguars and the gorillas and the lions and the giraffes, and they're going to get me. Let me see. So, yeah, I'm a white rabbit hole vet. I will watch any... That sounded real odd. I don't watch anything informative. We got a couple of questions here. Oh, I can't cut badges off. I didn't even cut badges on. Wait, so banana peel water and eggshells aren't doing good anything for my plants? No. The eggshells over time. Banana peel water, no. And over time, I mean a year. Why does store plant? Okay, those are the same questions I've been reading. This is great. How difficult is it to crossbreed plants? Well, Philip, it depends on how related they are. So if certain plants are related, like these two mints in front of me. So this is a mojito mint that came back. And this is a Kentucky kernel mint. Over time, they get seeds, and this is kind of reminiscent of what their flowers look like. This is a bee balm, but it's the same flower or floret, inflorescence situation. It's easy. Like I would just have to get that pollen at the right time, put the pollen in, cover it up, da-da-da-da-da. Now, it's difficult and intricate because these are small flowers, right? Same with the tomatoes, very small flowers. But if you were doing something like a bunch of lilies... Oh, the flower isn't there anymore. Y'all remember this flower y'all all liked? pretend it's still here. If we were doing this, then it'd be easier. So, yeah. Questions. Let's see. I'm answering so many questions. And again, I'm trying to answer a lot of questions today. Y'all come in here, ask your question. I'm a whole plant biologist. And here's what y'all can even talk about. I talk about plant hacks. I talk about Dr. Sebi. There's one Wahite person that's a little upset with me because he say I don't talk about black people enough and I don't down them. And I'm like, why do you have a boner for me to talk about black people lying on the internet? Y'all want equality when it's people lying and not when it's like time for it to matter. Let me see. Hey, Kiki. I hope you're still here. I'm trying to scroll back down, make sure I get this. Can I grow a lemon tree indoors? If you have the right light and your outdoors are great enough for like a certain part of the year, yeah, you can. I've seen some people do it. It would be like you would need either good grow lights or like a good southern facing window. And then like here in zone 8, it's formerly zone 7B, North Carolina, I could like bring it out during the spring, summer, once it's like above 70, and then just bring it in once the fall comes. Do you think plants interact with humans like communication? I think plants do talk, but it's in chemicals. So one plant said, hey, I am going to make it where I'm going to produce enough of these random cocktail of chemicals, an entourage, if you will. And eventually 2 Latinx Hispanic men will become very famous for heavily ingesting this one plant. One plant said, I'm going to be really delicious and I'm going to be the reason that, or a pillar in one man's religious views on Christianity as he goes across the Americas, drinking apple cider, hard apple cider. I was trying to be very, tongue-in-cheek with that one like I could with the other one, but I couldn't think of it. So some of these plants, I do think they talk to us, but not in a metaphysical way or in a frequency way, but in a chemical way. Because when they do something we like, we grow them. I love mints. I'm growing all of these mints, all of these different mints, and I'm upkeeping them. I'm farming them, and I'm literally taking care of them. And they give me something, and they're talking to me. They're saying, eat me, human. Make teas out of me. Make oils out of me. This ginger right here that was tapping me on the back, I kept feeling like someone was crawling on me. This ginger is saying, human, take care of me. So there we go. How do you best grow bananas in the South where it freezes? Some people who grow like the edible bananas, they just have to take them indoors, or you get like a greenhouse or a hoop house. But something where you can keep them warm all year. Are the Home Depot soil test kits adequate for figuring out garden soils? Ooh, you've been stalking me because I have a video coming up about that this week. I will say I've never used them, so I'm not all the way sure. I want to believe so, but I just take my soil to Cooperative Extension. Any of you that's followed me for any amount of time will hear once or twice a week me say Cooperative Extension, Cooperative Extension, Cooperative Extension, because it is a great resource for a gardener. You can cover them with sheets. There we go. Josie said you can cover the bananas with sheets. Have any of the botanists you've corrected reached out to you? These people are not botanists, Philip. Any of these plant hack experts, gardeners, horticulturalists, none of them have ever reached out to me. None of them have ever spoke to me. So y'all's cousin Hamilton hasn't. Cap, hoodie, and a bunch of other clothes he was wearing. That man ain't reached out to me. M.I. Gardner, your people tagged him 50 times like he was going to come up and be like, shut up, Negro, shut up. And he never came. So no. And a lot of these people will never correct me because they're promoting a bunch of BS anyway. And they are smart enough to know that my mouth is a dangerous weapon. Let me see here. So we got more questions. Again, I'm a plant biologist. You can ask me questions. I'm just sitting here talking, trying to think about what I'm going to eat tonight. I wanted to come live. I try to do lives now every Sunday. So there's that. Let's see here. Which edible plant has the highest amount of protein? I'm not sure, but I think it would be something in the legume family or the beans, because I feel like some of them can replace, like for the vegan, vegetarian people, that amount of protein can be used to replace eating meat. So like various beans, lentils, peanuts, things of that nature. But I don't know the exact number. Thank you for doing this. You're welcome. What plants would I recommend for a first-time apartment owner who's getting a cat? I would recommend any plant that's going to make them get rid of that cat. Next question. The cats. I see so many of you on the social media talking about your cats messing with your plants. So you want a plant that's not toxic to cats. Something that if they eat it, it won't kill them. Is Nadia in here? Hey, Nadia. I can't think of any right now because I don't have any animals. I usually know. I feel like pothos and snake plants are toxic. But get you a plant, get you a shelf that's like high enough up. Something where they just can't scale it. And go from there. Make sure you're getting your plants in a southern or western facing window, and you can do it with the compass app on your phone. Do I have to save? How do I save my lavender plant and dry it out and is limp no matter what I do? Lavender doesn't like. I don't have it here. It's at my sister's house. Lavender doesn't like a lot of water. So when you're growing lavender, you want to make sure you are not drowning them, right, in a bunch of water, and you want to make sure you're not like leaving them so dry that they start to wilt, because at a certain point, there's just a point of no return. I generally say, like, stick your finger in 2 nubs in. I have a soil water, like, meter in the house. I'm going to eventually try it and show it to y'all. But 2 nubs in, and then when it's, like, dry, water thoroughly. But you might just have to get another one. NBA Finals are on, otherwise I would stick around. Them NBA final people don't answer you. So y'all going to the NBA Finals. This is an old question. This is from a while back. It don't help you. Top 3 tips for a new gardener who foolishly started to buy plants in Australian winter when everything goes dormant. I would say find those growers, those legitimate growers who grow outdoor plants or indoor plants, whichever one you're doing, in Australia. It sounds like you're doing outdoor plants. There is a white man, I cannot think of his name, but he grows in a lot of tubs, a lot of steel tubs. And I believe he's down under. So yeah, I would say find those people over there, because my winter and your winter may be the same, they may be different. Is there a plant I recommend for flies? Not a plant, but a product. You can go get Zevos, the little light things, and you can plug them into your house. If it's outdoor flies, there's like little traps you can get. You could always, some people will be like, you get the carnivorous plants, but the flies and insects have to go towards that. Whereas like a sticky trap or a sticky card or one of those sticky light situations, the little vacuum things, like they are literally drawing the plant in. And granted, some carnivorous plants have like kind of a sweet smell or aroma that will bring the flies in. You don't want to have to worry about that. Would I plan a group trip to explore flowers in Africa? Would I plan a group trip? No. Here's why I wouldn't plan a group trip to go to Africa. A lot of people love the concept of a trip, and then once you start planning, then everybody wants to back out. Oh, my kidneys done flip sides. I can't go, Derek. Oh, I would love to go on this trip with you, Derek, but you know what? My cat is going to be graduating that day. I got to go see my cat. Like, people will make up any idea. So if I did it, it would be either with a group of super close friends who are dependable or myself. I would not plan a group trip. Like, it wouldn't be the Chocolate Botanist presents Africa unless I was like, no matter what happens, I'm going. I don't like, and even then, to travel that far, I would need to know like a group of people. So yeah, should you repot store-bought plants? I do it immediately. I repot store-bought plants immediately. Some people swear against it. I've not had a lot of trouble. Update on my purple tomato. I had one. I planted it. It died. This one was really small. I figured out, I was like, wait a minute, you're not getting enough nutrients because the soil I made was really dry. So I repotted it, and now it's not having this nutrient issue it was having anymore. I will have purple tomatoes this year. Fly deterrent. Is this the same person talking about flies earlier? if you got a lot of flies, you got to figure out where they're coming in from. Like, what is attracting them? And this is the same with like integrated pest management. What is bringing or drawing this insect? Whether it's the environment, a smell, some food source, what is it? And then how can you shoo it away? A plant or plants to buy. Any plant you want. Okay, and again, y'all can ask me any plants questions. I talk about Dr. Sebi, I talk about the alkaline diet, I talk about plant biology, plant history, different plant flax I like. I do house plants. I mix my own soils. So y'all ask your own question, all these questions. I'm gonna try to get down here as far as I can until about 8:15, 8:30. Okay, 8:15, 8:30. It's 8:08 right now. At what point should you cross-pollinate? When the plants have the pollen. Like if you're going to do cross-pollinations, you need to kind of time it where both the anthers, not the anthers, the stamen have their pollen, and the anther is ready to receive that pollen. So both flowers or reproductive organs need to be ready. Otherwise, you're kind of like shooting in the wind. That's the best way I can put that. We had Bowser Boys Catering up here. I don't know if he's still up here. If y'all are in the triangle, y'all need to get y'all some Bowser Boys Catering. I have probably 75% effectiveness sowing outside, but there's 1 to 3% effectiveness sowing inside, even with mats and lights. So if you're sowing outside and you have a lot of effectiveness, and then you sow plant seeds inside and you're having different effectiveness, then it's something happening. Like sometimes for me, it's like outside it's hotter, and the plants are going to get like drier and they may get rained on, so that balances them out, versus inside I have to like water actively and think about it. How mature does a plant need to be before cross-pollinating? Mature enough, and this is going to sound like sarcasm, but it's really not, mature enough to have the reproductive organs. Like if they have the flower that's setting pollen, then it's ready, but it's just timing. And I've done very light crosses of like trying to do sunflowers and stuff before, and then I harvested seeds, and then those seeds went to who knows where. But you just have to time it perfectly. Like I have another tomato in the house, and I want to be able to like cross this tomato with another tomato. I may not do that this year, and again that's a GMO tomato, but I need both of them to be at a place where they both have flowers, so I can get the pollen off of one and put it onto the anthers of the others. I might be getting my physiology wrong. I feel like I'm getting my terms wrong. Advice on indoor sowing. Figure out what the plants need and how to make your environment match it. So that could be if you're using heating mats or lights. Like make sure your heating mats or lights are set up on timers, or in so much as where you get good seeds. The spectrum of light you're using isn't going to cause like a bunch of stretching. I've had that happen before. I've shown this up here years ago. And that you are not over or under watering your seedlings as they need it. Voluptuary Visionary is up here. Speaking of that, she reminded me, hey Thomas, I am going to be going live tomorrow with Black in the Garden, so y'all should be joining that. What's the best pest deterrents? Tree rats included. If I had rats coming from trees, my deterrent would be to deter myself in the house. I could not even envision going under a tree and there's rats. So the best deterrent is to burn that down. Who is this? Plants are my peace. I'm going to accept that in a second. I'm going to try to scroll down a little bit more. You're growing perilla. Scroll down a little bit more. So cooperative extension. Any helps with flies, anyone? Why do you have so many flies? I have so many questions for you. Thank you for the saluting me. My question got skipped twice. How did I skip your question, Alluring? We're having lamb's quarters for dinner. Yes, lamb's quarter. Thank you for the one person who understood. When I say what I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to eat for dinner, that means you all tell me what you're eating. Milo is the only person that passed. Is organic raised bed soil good for potted plants like basil and rosemary? Yes. Quiet as it's kept. Houseplant soil, raised bed soil, garden soil is mostly all the same. They just change a few things up. Unless it's like specified for orchids or something, it's all the same thing. Let's scroll down a little bit more. Rosemary like to dry out. I believe rosemary does like to dry out, but I have had it like relatively wet. Hey, that Audrey, outdoor rosemary bush died from the middle section. Is it worth cutting it back to try to keep it alive, or get regrowth for? Hey, Steven, for your rosemary, if it died in the middle, but like part of it is still growing, I would try to prune it a certain way to get the dead out, if possible. I would have to see it though, because what I'm seeing. I don't know if what I'm seeing in my head is what you're seeing, but I would also say like Master Gardener, Cooperative Extension. Um, okay, let's see. We're gonna go ahead and add this person on. Oh, we got two people wanting to come up here and live and talk with me. We're gonna do plant piece. I've pressed accept. Struggling with slugs. I've tried diatomaceous earth and spinosad, but I'd love to get some better organic options. Go to the Omri website, OMRI, and I think you can search by pest, and they'll tell you what products you can use. Um, I feel like for slugs, I've maybe used Dipel before, but I can't. I don't think they. I don't think. I think that's more for worms than the slugs. So I don't. I can't remember offhand. I don't have to deal with slugs up here because I'm on the second floor, and it's been a while since I had to deal with them, so I can't think of something offhand. Self-sufficient me. That's the Australian man. Thank you. Self-sufficient me was the man I was referencing. Somebody said a cup of beer set in the soil. They believe that works. Does water hardness affect plants? To a certain extent, yay and nay. Water hardness is the amount of calcium bicarbonate or tricarbonate. Calcium carbonate is the amount of calcium, a calcium chemical in your water, which can impact negatively how you raise and lower pH of soil. And while is that important? Because most plants want their soil to be slightly acidic, so a 6.5. Some want it a little bit more acidic. Some want it just kind of even, right? But if you have that calcium bicarbonate that's making it harder for you to drop that pH and lower it to an acidic level, then it's kind of like murder she wrote in some cases. Are those Miracle Grow fertilizer sticks a good idea for a bamboo plant, or is it too much? Depends on if that bamboo plant is something you're trying to get to overtake. I don't feel like bamboo needs help, but I haven't used any of those sticks in a while. I'll say yes, but it depends on your situation. I always tell people just follow the instructions on the box. Like spicy stuff works good for squirrels. There's a squirrel story I'm gonna tell y'all. I need five of you to tag people who are not in this, and I'm gonna tell this squirrel story. Okay. We got V eats with Chef V. I'm gonna accept her in, and I'm gonna tell her my squirrel story. I need y'all to tag 5 people. The live is at. Can somebody leave this and look on my profile to see what time that live is? I think it's at 7, but I cannot remember. Chinese food. Thank you, Stephen. She declined. Okay, well, never mind then. My question was lost earlier. Zone B, cabbage worms are served. Can they be saved? It depends on how destroyed your collards are. If they're like eating the hell and back, then most likely not. But it depends on how much of your collards were destroyed. Roast chicken, spring onions. I didn't know the rule. Probably the burrito. We had black beans. Do you know a good way to get rid of chiggers in the backyard area? I feel like there is a phytochemical. It might be pyrethrin, but I can't remember. Go to a cooperative extension office and find out why to get rid of chiggers. I haven't dealt with them in a long time either. Oh, somebody was asking about grapes hydroponically. I did skip over that one because I remember seeing that one earlier. I'm not sure. I want to say yes, but I've never done it. Maybe salt? I was thinking of salt for the slugs, but I was like, okay, we're tagging people. We want to hear my squirrel story. Allegedly, many, many moons ago in New Bern, North Carolina, there was once a young chocolate botanist, a soon to eventual chocolate botanist. He was just a chocolate New Bernian, as it were. And he was having a good old Wonka time growing plants in his grandmother's yard when he lived with her. His family lived together in that house. And his grandmother loved to see the garden and to see the plants grow, but she also loved to watch the birds just feed. So his brother had this pine cone. You know how the children will make the pine cone stuff? I'm telling a story about squirrels for those of you coming in. Plant biologists, ask your questions. I'm answering questions for the next 13 minutes. Um, you know how the people get the pine cone feeders for the birds, and you put peanut butter and birdseed on it. So his brother had made one of them in school, and they put it out, and the family was so excited. This chocolate New Bernian, and one day it disappeared, and they thought the neighborhood kids had stolen it. So this chocolate New Bernian was planting a bunch of starts he got from a local garden center, and the starts were just—it's like he's like somebody's like taking my starts out and just throwing them on the side of the ground. So like you bury it into the raised bed, and then somebody just uproots it and just throws it to the side, right? And he couldn't figure out for the life of him who was doing this. Like, what neighborhood kid is this pissy? Until one day he happened to look up and see that it was squirrels. He walked out early enough in the morning and saw a bunch of squirrels flitting around on all of his plants. So he said, okay, let's do this. Let's get a bird feeder for the birds, because his grandmama wants to see the birds. You know, you want to take care of your grandmama. Chocolate New Bernian did. And he got his bird feeder, and one day it was about 10 squirrels on this bird feeder, just walking it back and forth, rocking it back and forth, and chewing on it. He made a bunch of pine cone bird feeders for all the squirrels. Those were where the tree rats were. He made the pine cones for what? All these squirrels, and they took them all. Like, he made 20, because he was like, some of you will take some of them, but surely you won't take every single one of them. They took every single one of them. So allegedly, this guy, sometime in the 2000s, took some peanut butter, a bunch of Midol pills, some turpentine and Lysol, and a bunch of laxatives, and then mixed it all together in this peanut butter and slathered it all over all these peanut butters after letting these pine cones sit in like a fermented plant gunk solution, and then tied them all up around the yard. And they all ended up being taken away one by one. And for the next 2 or 3 years, the whole neighborhood was like, where are all the squirrels? And that's the story of the chocolate not burning. You don't want to sit around a fire with a beer and this guy and just talk his stories for a few hours. Now, look, I don't drink no beer. But if you was to feed me some good food or a root beer, real good quality root beer, ginger beer, I'd be right there with you. They snagged flowers from my magnolia and lilac. Squirrels are frankly evil, and I don't have them on this patio anymore because we have an understanding, because allegedly, chocolate and burning is me. And they were on my patio, and I have a super soaker in the house that I filled with like a hot pepper vinegar, and I aimed for its eyes as I shot, and I never seen them again. Anywho, what were we talking about? Main Root Ginger Beer. I believe that is a top tier. We answered. The live is tomorrow at 6 p.m. That's right. Other questions, comments, and concerns. I'm a whole plant biologist. This is your opportunity to ask a scientist science questions. And I mean, those of you who ask them on the on the the reels, when I respond to all of you. That's one thing I do want to say. I may not be able to do it when I get 200,000 followers and reels are just popping like they could be. But I really try to answer all of y'all that I can, either with commentary, like a comment, or an actual like video. And I want y'all to know, y'all's cousin Hamilton, I don't think I ever see him responding to nobody. So crazy. I have so many questions normally. Now that you hear you're blanking, it's okay. If y'all have other questions, just DM me. So I guess I'll give an update. Again, I quit the job that I've been working at since October, and I feel uplifted. I feel free. I have a job that I'm starting tomorrow, by the way. Like, don't just think I just quit. I'm just going to be in the house like, ugh. But I'm going to be working. But it is amazing how I feel like I could really breathe. Like, I was so anxious to go and drop this badge off today, and it was just so heart wrenching. And then I dropped it off, and I like as soon as I walked out of that building, and I sent the notice, like the resignation, I was like, oh my god, I feel amazing. Like, and I'll talk about it more in detail one day. to be at the level of experience I have with leadership, but to feel like my voice is less than fermented urine. It is just maddening. Um, so yeah, why did I have to go Avengers Endgame on the squirrels? The squirrels were wrecking everything. I would my plants were taken out. Do you know what they planted with you know what the squirrels planted instead of my plants? And they took them out. They planted pecans. Pecans. We had pecan trees in the yard. They took the pecans, planted them. Why are you doing that? That's the rest of the yard. Why are you going to the one area that I plant instead of the rest of the yard? I'm growing sorrel and callaloo. Can they be eaten raw in a salad? I'm not eating either of those two in a salad. I'm not sure. I'm always not afraid to say I'm not sure. Sounds like a government job. It wasn't a government job. This job, for those of you in the 90s, y'all remember America's Funniest Home Videos and like Candid Camera and Punked and the Jamie Kennedy experiment and all that stuff? It really felt like I was on a TV show. I talk with my sisters about this often because both of us sometimes go through these things where we're like, it can't just be me. Like, I'm not crazy, but I'm feeling like I'm the crazy person in this job. I think there's a TV show called Gotcha, and it must like be filmed here, and then it's like sent 50 years in the future into Sweden to be streamed on OVO of all places. But it's like this has to be a joke. Like, y'all cannot just be telling me that you have to work 40 hours a week to get benefits, or else you can't get benefits. Even though I've previously not been working 40 hours and I was getting my benefits, but now mysteriously I have to get 40 hours always in order to get benefits when I have the internet and I can go to the IRS website and look it up. Like, y'all have to be thinking I'm stuck on stupid. What's for you is for you, and nothing and no one can prevent it. Hallelujah. Okay, well, looks like y'all don't have any questions. I love that y'all is here. I could tell y'all that squirrel story. I might try to tell y'all an old story every time I get on a live. Is there a general time frame for cuttings for propagation? I'm not a patient person. Are you talking about from like cutting to like it growing? It depends on the cutting. It depends on the environment you have it in. And like actually those two things are it. The cutting and how long have you had it. Some mint cuttings, sometimes for me, can be like 3 or 4 weeks, and I start to see like good growth and then some roots in like 2 months. Some I have some houseplants I'll do cuttings of, and sometimes I'll wait 3 or 4 months to see some good roots. Hey there, plant bender. Is she at? Was this a real accept? Was this real? I'm pressing accept. I pressed accept so many times. I pressed accept. Hey, friend.
What's up? I
How are
think I'll
you?
go ahead and show you my garden since I'm outside and you always trying to get me to come laugh with you.
I've been aiming at you for 5 years, and I finally got it.
But it might be 5 years.
Yeah, I finally got it. Oh,
Let me
Jesus.
see.
Show.
If I can turn this camera around. Y'all know I don't be live. I can't even get my camera to switch around.
There's something is somewhere where you see the mic. There you
There you
go. And
go.
tell the people who you are.
There you go. Yes,
These are beautiful.
I was out here listening, so I'm just going to show what I got.
Show us what you got. These are gorgeous. Y'all see this?
So these are some cabbage. For the first time, I've been able to even get them this big. I had to learn how to control the pests. As you can see, they was getting ate up before.
It's okay.
But they looking good now. Looking better anyway.
Ooh, we love to see it.
What I got? There's some okra,
Ooh.
more cabbage, some flowers. Over I got tomatoes and pepper plants over there. More young pepper plants. It's a whole lot of wild seeds in here. I just threw so many seeds in here. I can't even tell you what's all in there.
Look,
There's a
we love
lot
it
of,
though.
and watermelon that I have no clue where I'm going to put at. I'm still trying to decide where in this yard it's going to go because I know it
Oh,
takes up a lot of space.
oh, this is great. So y'all don't even know this, but Kiara here, I think she was one of my first, definitely under my first 1,000 followers. So she's been following me for at least 5. Been begging her to join me live, and I finally got
I wouldn't say begging.
it. She won't say it because I did. That's why I said it. That's why I said it, because I'm like, the people need to see what you got. And you are going, what zone are you in?
What is this? Like 6A, believe. Look, I don't know my own zone. I'm in Kentucky. If it helps anyone, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, so you're probably around the same as me because they've changed. I was formerly 7 in North Carolina here, but it's changed. Either way, she's in Kentucky and she's able to do all of that. So that is gorgeous. That is beautiful. Thank you. How has your life been, my
Look,
dear? How are
look,
you
I
doing?
need to be in Florida so I can get me a mango tree.
Look, it's not worth it for the
But
mango tree.
I'm
I'll
doing
tell you,
well.
we love it. And Florida ain't worth it for a mango tree. Do you know they're trying to teach the children that black people came over here on the Tom Joyner cruise boat, um, and that they were contract employees.
It's always something, no matter where you go. There's a lot of other stuff I can leave down in Florida too, though, like them gators
Ooh, yeah. Apparently a gator
and the
back home.
weather, the tornadoes and all.
I was gonna say y'all don't have tornadoes out there in Kentucky.
Oh, I ain't gonna say we don't. We've had some recently, not here in
Okay,
Louisville, but
I
but
was gonna say now you should be used to
but
that now.
Florida gets it more often. That and the hurricane things gets it more often. But yes, we have had some bad hits in some of our smaller towns here recently.
Well, Lord, well look, I answered all these questions that I needed to answer. Somebody asked me about nettle fertilizer. I've not used it. I've done some looking up on the fermented fertilizers.
Mm.
They make sense to a certain extent, but I need to talk to somebody scientist. I know a lot of us scientists, our Western scientists here, don't do a lot of studying on that, but I need to get. But nonetheless, I'm about to jump off and get me some food so I can go and lay down.
I
You got any
feel
last?
the same. Same here.
Really, what you about to go eat?
Well, I already had food from earlier. I had some chicken there. I'm gonna eat the rest of my food and maybe have a cup of wine.
We love a cup of wine.
Go eat
We
the
love a
rest.
cup of wine, even though I don't drink. So you had chicken. Did you cook this chicken yourself?
Not today. Nope, we was been out all day. I stopped and got some Popeyes
You went,
chicken.
you went to Pop. You love that chicken from Popeyes.
I don't dislike it.
That's the commercial. It's okay. It's okay. Next time we live, I'm gonna get my references. Cause see, if I got her in 5 years, if I just double up my begging, I could get her again in 2.5 years. 2026, 2027. We're gonna go ahead and set this date. So
Saturday.
go to the
A
Popeyes.
year in advance.
Uh-huh. I think I'm gonna go to the Popeyes then, since you don't went to the Popeyes, because I do love a Popeyes chicken. So with that, I say, Kiara, thank you for and thank you for being. I love all my followers and my supporters and my community, but you have been one of the day ones, and I really value you. You hear?
Same. Same for you. You've been here since day one as well. Same.
You when you get that cabbage grown, what you gonna make with that cabbage when you get it grown? I just got to know real quick before I get off of here.
Of course, I'm gonna fry some, but I love to make cabbage soup.
You do.
No,
What,
yes,
you
I do
put
a
your
few things.
You're gonna be so good. So that means when you harvest that cabbage, you go ahead and let me know. I'll fly to Kentucky. You just I bring my own plate and forks. You don't even have to clean dishes. I'll bring my own plate and forks, and because you got enough cabbage for everybody, you got enough cabbage for me, and I'll be
Like
there.
everybody, you a list behind other people. Everybody you see them when it's full grown, they want one. I ain't gonna have but one left for myself.
See, I don't want one. I want you. See, she didn't hear what I said.
You just
You,
want to play.
I want you to cook the cabbage as you would. You set something to the side. I can stop to the Publix and bring some chicken. Okay, we eat going while away, and we just going about our Negro business.
All right then.
So with that, I'm gonna bid you all adieu. I do ferment. I do next live I do. I'll probably if my house is clean, I'll show y'all me doing some fermenting because I do ferment indoors. I have a soda like kombucha thing I'm doing. And actually, Kiara used to see me do that all the time. So I am going to jump off of here. Y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up. I'm a plant biologist. Throw them in the comments. I'll answer all of you, even the disrespectful ones. I match energies. So we're going to do it. Kiara, you have a good one, my dear.
You too, Derek.
And you enjoy your
Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye. Now, how do